Imagine being thrown into a dark pit filled with hungry lions with glowing eyes. This is exactly what happened to Daniel in one of the most thrilling Bible stories ever told. Jealous enemies plotted against him. A king's unbreakable law was signed. One faithful prayer, and suddenly Daniel faced certain death. But did God really shut the mouths of the lions? Stay with me, because this incredible true story of faith, courage, and divine deliverance is about to blow your mind. In the mighty kingdom of Babylon, a young man named Daniel stood out in the Daniel and the Lion's Den Bible story. Captured from Judah, he served King Darius with wisdom and integrity. Daniel was given great responsibility because God blessed him with favor. The king trusted him more than all the other leaders. Daniel excelled in every task. His wisdom came from his deep faith in God, making him stand out among all the administrators in Babylon. 3 times a day, Daniel would kneel by his window facing Jerusalem and pray to the God of Israel, giving thanks no matter the danger. This faithful habit of Daniel in Babylon only increased the king's trust, but it planted seeds of jealousy in the hearts of other officials. The administrators and satraps plotted together. They could find no fault in Daniel except his devotion to God. One official sneered, "We must create a law that traps Daniel for praying to his God, not the king." They approached King Darius with flattery, urging him to sign a decree that no one could pray to any god or man except the king for 30 days. The king, unaware of their evil plan against Daniel, liked the idea of such loyalty shown only to him. The trap was set in this Daniel and the Lion's Den Bible story. The unchangeable law of the Medes and Persians was about to be signed. They reminded the king that once signed, the law could never be changed, no matter what, and no amount of pleading will save the accused. King Darius, flattered by their words, and with the stroke of a pen, the law was sealed. For 30 days, praying to anyone but the king meant the lion's den. Daniel's faithful enemies now waited eagerly. Their plot against this man of God was in motion. Little did they know, no plan of man can stand against the power of faith in God. The story of Daniel in Babylon was only beginning. The next morning in this Daniel and the Lion's Den Bible story, the new decree was proclaimed throughout the mighty kingdom of Babylon. For 30 days, no one in the kingdom could pray to any god or person except King Darius, or they would face the lion's den. The jealous officials smiled in secret. Their trap against Daniel was now official law of the Medes and Persians, impossible to change. News of the decree spread quickly across Babylon, but Daniel remained faithful to God despite the deadly new law. That very day, as was his custom in Daniel in Babylon, Daniel went to his upper room, opened the window toward Jerusalem, and knelt to pray. 3 times a day Daniel prayed and gave thanks to God, showing his unwavering faith in God, even under the new decree. The jealous officials had been watching and spying. They rushed to catch Daniel in the act of praying to his God. Filled with triumph, they reported to the king. Daniel continues to pray to his God 3 times a day, defying your decree. King Darius was deeply distressed. He realized he had been tricked and loved Daniel greatly. All day the king tried desperately to find a way to save Daniel from the lion's den, but the law could not be changed. At sunset, the officials demanded justice. Daniel was arrested and brought before the king one last time. The king said to Daniel, "May your God, whom you serve continually, rescue you, his voice heavy with regret. With a heavy heart, King Darius gave the order. Daniel was thrown into the dark lion's den as the law required. A large stone was rolled over the mouth of the den and sealed with the king's signet ring. No one could rescue him. That night, King Darius could not eat or sleep. He paced anxiously, hoping for a miracle from Daniel's God. Deep inside the sealed lion's den, in this Daniel and the Lion's Den Bible story, darkness surrounded Daniel. The hungry lions began to stir. Yet Daniel showed no fear. His faith in God remained strong, even in the face of certain death. The great beasts approached, their eyes hungry and fierce in the Daniel in Babylon story. But God had not forgotten his faithful servant. In that moment, the Lord sent his angel into the den. The angel stood before Daniel and shut the mouths of the lions, just as God had promised through faith in God. Instead of attacking, the lions lay down calmly around Daniel like gentle companions. Daniel's faith in God had triumphed over the deadly trap set by his enemies. He was completely unharmed. All through the long night, Daniel praised God while the angel stood guard, shutting every lion's mouth. There was no harm to Daniel because he trusted in the living God who delivers his people. The jealous official's plan had failed completely against the power of faith in God. As the hours passed, Daniel continued in prayer and thanksgiving, safe in God's mighty hand. The angel's presence filled the den with peace and calm, turning a place of death and pure horror into one of divine protection. Dawn was now very approaching. God had proven once again his faithfulness to those who stand firm, just like he always does. Daniel remained unharmed throughout the entire night, a powerful testimony of faith in God in the Daniel and the Lion's Den Bible story. The long night was over. Soon the king would discover the miracle that faith had brought. At the first light of dawn in this Daniel and the Lion's Den Bible story, King Darius rushed anxiously to the sealed lion's den. With a trembling voice the king called out, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God been able to save you?" From inside the den came a calm, strong reply. "O king, live forever. My God sent his angel and shut the lions' mouths. Daniel was alive and unharmed." The king's sorrow turned to overwhelming joy at this miracle of faith in God. The king rejoiced greatly. His faith in Daniel's God was now unshakable after witnessing this deliverance. The jealous officials who had accused Daniel were immediately brought forward to face justice. The king commanded that the wicked men, along with their families, be thrown into the same lion's den. Before they even reached the bottom, the lions overpowered them. God's justice was swift and complete. King Darius then issued a new decree to all peoples and nations. "I decree that everyone must fear and reverence the God of Daniel, for he is the living God who rescues and performs signs and wonders, as seen in the Daniel and the Lion's Den Bible story." Daniel was promoted and prospered under King Darius because he trusted in his God without compromise. No matter the lions in your life, challenges, enemies, or fears, God is with you when you stand firm in faith. This true Bible story for adults and children teaches courage, prayer, and trust. God delivers those who remain faithful. Like Daniel in Babylon, choose faith today. God still shuts the mouths of lions and turns darkness into victory. Trust in God, stand firm, and watch him deliver you. To God be all the glory forever. Amen. Subscribe to Bible Storyverse and turn on notification for more beautiful stories like this for the family.